Welcome to another edition of Panther Sports Talk. On this week's edition, we talk playoff football, last week's game against Tennessee State, this week's upcoming game against Towson, all that and much more right here on EIU.
Production for Panther Sports Talk is brought to you in part by Johnson's Automotive Service is a proud supporter of Panther Sports on WEIU. Johnson's is a complete car facility for all your automotive repair and maintenance needs. Johnson's Automotive Service, keeping your life running.
Welcome to another edition of Panther Sports Talk right here on WEIU. I'm your host, Rich Moser. We're joined by head coach Dino. And Coach, we'll start it off. This is going to be a playoff edition. So we're going to talk Tennessee State last week, Towson next week, or this week, I guess, coming up. Congratulations, I guess, in order to start with. I got a lot of calls. I know a couple of those guys from that 89 era, and a lot of them were like, please tell the team to win. We're getting tired of telling everybody we're the last team to win a playoff game. I had nothing to do with it, so congratulations to you and the team. I'll take the congratulations on the phone calls, but you and the guys came out and did exactly kind of were focused and made sure that it happened.
Well, I'll give all the kudos to the football team. I thought they were extremely professional about their work, even though they're amateurs. And the way they handled that Tennessee State team, offensively, defensively, special teams contributing, they were just so focused. And I've said this before, I really believe there's something special about this team and the way they go about their work. And you could just tell that everybody's totally committed to the journey.
Now, we've talked about it. We've talked off the record. You've talked to some of the reporters about it on the record. Is playing a team the second time around may be the hardest thing to do in football. People do it all the time in baseball and in basketball. That's just kind of how conference action goes and things like that. In football, you play one team once a year. You leave it out on the field. You can throw some of your gimmicks at them, pull out the bag of tricks, because you don't think you're going to play them the second time. So the second time around is the hardest game to probably win maybe the entire season for somebody if you have to play them twice. There's
no doubt. We had it happen at UCLA, and we beat BYU the first time, and then we played them in a bowl game, which is rare to have a rematch in a bowl game, and they beat us the second time around. And I was very concerned about that going into the football game. But I remember Coach McLeod, who did a great job with the defense when we played Tennessee State the first time. He said that I told him good game after the game, and he was just so, I'm not going to use the word frustrated, so upset because he said, Coach, we didn't play that well. We could play better. And I remember talking to Coach Gilbert, and he was like, we left about 21 points out there, Coach. We could have played a lot better. So I think the team really echoed around that. And then when you had all the social media come out about, the payback, the big payback, and James Brown being our guy and them stealing one of our favorite artists, I thought it was a really big deal with the football team, and I just can't be more proud of how focused they were in putting away a very, very good Tennessee State team.
Now, the second time around, Tennessee State might have been even scarier because they were playing with some different guys in key positions that you guys didn't face the first go-round. Michael German being the quarterback, being one of them, an experienced veteran guy for them. And then Stephen Godbold, who at the start of the year was the league's preseason Defensive Player of the Year, who I don't even know that he ended up being a guy you were able to take advantage of, and based on maybe the fact that he didn't see you guys was an advantage for you guys in addition to you not seeing him.
First of all, I thought German played well, and his stats came out extremely well, but there comes a time in a football game where instead of just completing a pass, you need to attack the defense. And I didn't feel that he was attacking our secondary. There was a couple of throws that we were happy that it went our way, and he threw a couple of good balls in there. But overall, I thought our defense was in great position in the throwing game. Now when you flip that around, I thought our wide receivers, the techniques that they were using on Godbolt and those other corners, I'm not sure they've seen wide receivers like that. Eric Laura, Keandre, Drake. Those guys were, John Lepak, those guys were perfect with their tool belt. And the techniques and the fundamentals that they were using on those cats were extreme. And I just think that, kudos off to Coach Souter and Coach Lewis. I just thought the wide receivers played extremely well, especially with their press releases and all that kind of stuff when they were trying to get up in their face and play press man-to-man.
Now, Jimmy did kind of exactly what he needed to do. You guys, once again, were able to jump up early. We're up 16-0 in the first quarter, 37-0 in the first half. I think he finished with about 240 yards, but 230 of those were in the first half. He really didn't need to throw the ball in the second half when you guys kind of – one, you had the score in your favor, and I think the weather ended up being – in the second half ended up being a favor too when you have a big lead like that. Only had one interception, and on it looked like it was a ball that may have been either miscommunication with the receiver or underthrown. One of the questions I guess I have is, does the weather – you guys don't really practice in that through the course of the year, and the weather kind of turned late in the week. That has got to affect the way I guess Jimmy throws the ball a little bit too, and maybe had an effect on that one interception.
Well, first of all, the interception wasn't on Jimmy. It was a bad call on my part. The weather, now we do practice on the weather. We may not go out every day, but the last day before the game, that Friday, we've been going out in the weather regardless of what it is. It's a shorter practice for us, and we're going to go out there. And normally what's been happening is that Friday is a little bit warmer than what the game was going to be on Saturday. So it was chilly, it was cold, but at least it gave us a little bit of a warm-up of how the game's going to be. And then just dealing with Jimmy was doing he's been doing just such a fabulous job. I almost look at it like it's a relationship between a father and a son. And then you watch your son grow up, and then he gets married, and you still have that father and son relationship, but they talk to each other a different way, man to man. That's kind of how the conversations are coming off to the sideline. Did you see the free safety? Yeah, I saw the free safety. The corner was moving here. I thought I could do this right there. Really? Well, yeah. No, and that's a good idea. I mean, the guy is so far advanced from where we started in this offense that it's really, really spooky, and it's going to take an exceptional football team to knock him or take him away from his game. He's playing at a very, very high level.
Now, and when things aren't going his way, you guys have had the running game now. I know that's one of the parts of the offense I don't think people look at, because I think Jimmy's numbers are so above where a lot of other quarterbacks are. He's having a phenomenal season by any stretch. But Shepard Little and Taylor Duncan are having great seasons too. I mean, if you look up there, they're both in the top 20, top 30 in the country in rushing yards. And that's, I think, the misconception in the offense that you guys run. And a lot of times, looking at Baylor's numbers, what Baylor ran too, that you said last year that if I don't have a 1,500-yard running back, I don't think we're getting it done. And you guys are pretty close to that this year with Shepard Little now.
The offensive line, those five guys, you can't say enough about them. Nick, Big Dom, Jimmy, Big Alex, and then Colin. When those five guys were named the OVC Players of the Week, the very first game against San Diego State, that FBS upset, I knew that this was going to be a special season. And I'm so proud of what Shep's done. I don't know how many yards he's got now, 1,400 or something like that, maybe 1,500, I don't know. And I'm so hoping that we can get Taylor Duncan to 1,000 yards, because how cool would that be to have 2,000-yard rushers with 3 1,000-yard receivers, if we can get Keandre's numbers up a little bit with a 5,000-yard passer, and you still haven't checked that stat for me. I'm not sure it's ever been done, FBS, FCS, and just stop right there. None of that would be possible if it wasn't for Coach McLeod and the defense. I mean, the job the defense is doing, the way they're getting those guys on 3 and outs and 3 turnovers in the game, I mean, those are extra possessions for the offense the entire year, and there's no doubt that had effect on those numbers. So my hat goes off to the defense, Coach McLeod. They're doing a fantastic job, and the offensive guys are just really appreciative of how our defense has been playing lately.
Now, the defense is going to be one of the focal points as we transition into looking at this week's upcoming game. Both teams have good offenses on paper. You look at the numbers, you guys are both up there nationally in points scored, in total offense. How you guys get there is a little bit different. So the defenses are really going to be focal points this week. And I guess the key for stopping Towson starts with stopping the run, and in particular, Terrence West.
You got to stop him. And he is an exceptional running back. An exceptional running back. That's what he is. He is as good as a running back, maybe, as Garoppolo is a quarterback. And that's very, very difficult for me to say. Their quarterback is really, really accurate with the football, and he has a strong arm. 13 for 15 last week's game, threw for 3 touchdown passes where everybody was focused on stopping West. This game is going to come down to 2 good offenses playing against 2 good defenses and 2 solid special teams playing against each other, 2 coaching staffs that know each other. The head football coach was at the University of Connecticut when I was at Baylor, and Baylor went to the University of Connecticut and lost. So he's seen our offense before. He's seen our defense before. We should be uncomfortable with each other, yet we're very comfortable with each other. From their standpoint, we've got to get to know them very quickly when the game starts.
Now, you look at their quarterback, and you talked about him. He seems to be a guy that it's not his job to beat you, but it's his job not to lose the game. He's very just kind of manage the game, and off of what we're doing offensively, running the ball, break it up a little bit with some play action and stuff like that.
Yeah, it really is, but it's just when you watch him on tape, you want to see a guy that really can't throw the ball, that just hands the ball off and doesn't turn the ball over. That's not what you see. You see a guy that can put the ball on the left side of an offensive guy when the defender's on the right. You see a guy that throws a ball right underneath the chin when a guy's running a dig route over the middle. And you see a guy with a lot of zip on the football. So I think he's an excellent quarterback. And after West leaves, he's good enough that they can build the offense around him. So they're really a two-edged sword and probably the closest offense to ours that we've seen.
Now, turnovers have been a problem for them early in the year, and I know there was a question you had in our press conferences earlier today and kind of addressed that when you look at the numbers, it's something that looks like they have fixed now as the year has gone on. That was one of their Achilles heels early in the year, and it cost them in the game one of the games they lost this year. I think they turned it over 3 or 4 times, and those were converted into points. But ball security, they've gotten a lot better at that.
Well, ball security is job security, and they had some problems early. I think they've solved those problems, obviously, because they're making this run into the playoffs. Anytime it's a cold night, that whoever doesn't turn over the football is going to have a huge advantage to win that game. And I would hate to see their offense with 3 more opportunities because we turned the ball over. And I'd hate to see our offense with 3 more opportunities than what we could do with it if they turn the ball over. So ball security is going to be a big part of who decides on who's going to win the game or not.
Now, just looking quickly at their defensive side of the ball, they look like a team that gets pressure on the quarterback. Not necessarily a lot of sacks, but is able to get pressure on the quarterback. From what you've seen, and I know you guys haven't seen a lot of tape on them because by the time you found out the opponent and short turnaround for this week, is there a defense that they look similar to either with a scheme they run or a size that they play with?
They kind of remind you of Eastern Kentucky's defensive guys, tough, physical, athletic, can make the turn and pass rush the passer, with Tennessee State's linebackers and DBs. Only these guys are 6-foot corners. It'll be the very first time that our wide receivers have gone against 2 6-foot corners on both sides. That make them longer, that makes them rangier. They can get their hands on balls that 5'7", 5'6" guys can't get their hands on. So that means your quarterback has to be even better. We've got a good one. We're going to welcome the challenge. But these guys are very athletic, and it's going to be a task for us, to say the least.
Now, when you guys are doing your scouting on this, FCS football, I think FBS football is to this way to an extent, but FCS is even more so. Recruiting becomes very regionalized for a majority of your team, and so a lot of your guys are Midwest guys, where a lot of their guys are East Coast type guys. There's probably not a lot of cross recruiting. So do you have any familiarity with some of the types of guys that they're getting or the guys that they're getting? Because I'm assuming they don't have that with you guys either.
No, we really don't. They don't know the people that's on our football team. We look on their roster. We really don't know theirs. I have been on their campus before. It's in the middle of Baltimore, Maryland. It's a nice campus. But that's why I don't think the weather is going to be an advantage, because they've seen that weather before. But they're an athletic football team. You know, when you get down to the final 8, everybody's good. And if you stub your toe with turnovers or making mistakes on 4th down, then it could cost you the game. And we need to take a clean test. We need to sit down at that exam, open up the composition book, and write a nice, clean novel and close that thing and try to find a way to get to the next round of 4.
Okay, last question will be short week. You play it on Friday night. It's on ESPN2, so that's great exposure for the program. Teams don't get to play at our level very often on ESPN2 and on ESPN. Kind of how do you approach that with the kids, and I know it's got to sink in with them that we're on a national stage. Is that even something that you're worried about with this team, is looking at that hype?
You know, I'm really not, but I guess I better address it since you're putting such an emphasis on it right now. I really believe that these guys are very mature, and they understand that everybody's watching, but they've got to stay focused on their task at hand. And their task at hand is being in the right gap, taking a 6-inch step, looking the ball all the way in, making sure they finish their route, make sure they cover on the punt, make sure they punt snap all the way to the holder or to the punter. And if they take care of the little things, and they're consistently good, the big things will take care of themselves.
You still lost a day, and on top of that, you added Easter and the fact that it's finals week, and I think you guys gave them Monday off to kind of really focus on the academics and try to stay in as much of that regular season mode as you could. But you still lose a day, so how does that really affect preparation?
You know, it's one day less, but I'll tell you what affects preparation the most is the finals. I mean, student athlete, that's how the scholarship reads, student athlete, and to be taking finals during this week and then also inserting the game plan, that probably has as much stress as losing one day. So hopefully those guys, we're giving them all the time they need for their finals. Hopefully they're all knocking out A's and B's. And then once they get done with their finals, they can make up the time that they've lost during the week and put in some final game study at the end of the week that hopefully will be beneficial for us.
So what you're telling me is in the film room there, they're looking at a chemistry exam, and then there's 2 plays in there and then another exam.
What I'm saying is they better be at home looking at the chemistry thing, and then when they get that handled, then they can come down here and we'll look at the tape.
All right, very good, Coach. A reminder, the game is on at 7 o'clock out at O'Brien Field. It's going to be nice and toasty warm, just like this. No, it's not, Coach, but we tell everybody that anyway. We wanted to have a big crowd there. I thought we had a great crowd the other day despite the weather. True
awesome.
Football fans were out there. I know it's graduation on Saturday, so for those that are coming into town, come on out to the football game. Expose your parents and your graduates. Give a graduation gift, early Christmas present. 7 o'clock at O'Brien Field. The game is on ESPN2. You can hear the radio broadcast on the Panther Football Radio Network. Coach, congratulations. Hopefully we're back here next week talking about a national semifinal, something the Panthers have not been in at the Division I level. So we're excited about that. I know there's a lot of excitement around town. We're going to wrap up this week's program with This Week in EIU Athletics, followed from some highlights from last week's playoff win over Tennessee State. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Panther fans, here's what's going on in Panther athletics. Panther football advanced to the FCS Quarterfinals after defeating OVC rival Tennessee State 51-10 at O'Brien Field in the second round of the FCS playoffs. The Panthers are now 12-1 on the season. Men's basketball dropped 2 non-conference games last week, 60-32 at Western Illinois and 66-48 to Indiana State. They're now 3-6 on the season. Women's basketball picked up win number 3 on the season. They're now 3-5 overall, winning 71-67 at Bradley behind Sabi Orosova's 38 points. That's an EIU high last set in 2006. And track opened up their new season with the EIU Early Bird Meet at the Lance Fieldhouse. EIU posted 14 first-place finishes. Of note, Calvin Edwards and Jalissa Paramore were both dual event winners for EIU. And in swimming, senior Colin McGill represented Eastern Illinois at the Winter National Championships. He finished 48th out of 62 swimmers in the preliminary rounds. Now here's what to watch for this week. On Friday, Panther football hosts Towson in the FCS Quarterfinals at O'Brien Field at 7 o'clock. You can listen to that game on Hitmix 88.9 WEIU, or you can watch it on ESPN2. And next Monday, women's basketball is at Southern Illinois at 6:05, and you can listen to that game on Hitmix 88.9 WEIU. For Panther Sports Talk, I'm Ramin Karbasioun.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Today it's postseason football, round 2 of the NCAA Division I playoffs. The Eastern Illinois Panthers ready to host the Tigers of Tennessee State. Weather's a big story here. Lots of sunshine. We're very clear today. 23 degrees right now. The wind out of the north makes it feel like 11 degrees here at O'Brien Field. Third down, 7 to go at the 35. Garoppolo back, firing deep, right sideline, going for Gober, and a diving catch at the 3-yard line. Gober laid out for it and pulled it in. It'll be 1st and goal to go. Ball still at the 3, 2nd down, goal to go. Actually, they got it to the 2. Here's a handoff through the middle. Duncan goes in. Touchdown, Eastern Illinois. Over left guard. Taylor Duncan on a 2-yard touchdown run. German fumbles the snap from center. He's feeling for it. It's down, and it is. Eastern says they have it. They do. The Panthers have recovered on a fumbled snap at the 47-yard line. That's another way where the cold comes into play today. Out with the football for Eastern is Robert Haynes, the middle linebacker. So the first turnover goes to Tennessee State, and the Panthers will take over near midfield. Shepard Little, a running back. They fake it to him. Garoppolo back. Sets up. Throwing the bomb. Right side. Going for Laura. He's got it. 15, 10, 5. Thrown out of bounds inside the 5. Eric Laura makes his presence known. The nation's leading receiver all the way down to the 4-yard line. Shepard has returned 2 for touchdowns. Kicks away, wobbly, short kick. Little takes it at the 31, coming left, has room. 35, cuts back 40, has a seam. 45-50, Little, 45-40, breaks left at the 35, and finally corrals down at the 34-yard line. But a great return by Shepard Little. Garoppolo in the shotgun, low snap, he's got it. He's back, pump fake, now he's in trouble. He rolls out to his left, throws off balance, it's caught by Lepak, and he's got a first down at the 22-yard line. Great move by Garoppolo to escape the rush. Second down, 9 to go. 2 wide out to right. Garoppolo, shotgun snap, fake handoff. Jimmy back, firing the slant. Caught! Touchdown! Eric Laura! He pulled it in at the 3 and goes in for the touchdown.
Just a quick slant, and the ball was delivered right on the number 8 of Laura's jersey. Perfect pass by Garoppolo on a string. No defensing that, and the Panthers have another score.
10:40 to go, second quarter, 16-0 Eastern Illinois. 3rd and goal, Garoppolo back, pump fake, in trouble, rolling to the right. Jimmy looking into the end zone, rolling out to the right, throws over the middle, touchdown! Jeff Lepak! Great job by Garoppolo to find Lepak while he was scrambling out of the pocket.
And the Panthers continue to shred this excellent defense from Tennessee State. They've got to be just incredibly frustrated.
Couple of tight ends, high formation backfield. German, handoff up the middle. Broughton slips, he fumbles. Eastern picks it up, Christic. And he's Panther ball at the 31-yard line. Broughton slipped on the way down, he lost the ball. And Adam Christic picks it up, the junior linebacker from Allentown, Pennsylvania. There's some pressure, they block it. They block it at the 5. It's rolling free at the end zone. Touchdown, Eastern Illinois. Anthony Goodman scoops it up for the touchdown. Samu Grugier-Hill blocks the punt, and Anthony Goodman recovers for the touchdown. It's 29-0 Eastern Illinois.
Well, now our special teams for a group that's doing a nice job for the Panthers here this afternoon. The offense did well early on. The defense has done well the entire half.
Duncan in the backfield with Garoppolo. Jimmy back, looking left, pump fake, going at left corner. Laura's got it. Touchdown, Eastern Illinois. Now second, make it Drake. Adam Drake with the touchdown. He joins in the fun. Garoppolo's 3rd touchdown pass of the first half, and the Panthers go up 36-0 on the touchdown by Adam Drake. And the EIU fans will salute their team as they head to the locker room. Dino Babers out there on the field, high-fiving his guys as they head to the locker room to warm up with the halftime score at O'Brien Field. Eastern Illinois 37. Tennessee State nothing. Under center, German hands it, second man, right side, Broughton trying to break outside, won't get there. Down he goes. Pete Houlihan got him at the 34. It's another tackle for loss for Eastern. Garoppolo, handoff, big hole Little, stumbles across the 15-10. Nobody there. Touchdown, Shepard Little. An easy jaunt from 18 yards out. Shepard Little started to the right, broke 1 tackle at the line. Nobody in the secondary, and that's the 8th game in a row in which he has scored a touchdown. That for Shepard is 18th touchdown this year. High snap, but he's got it. Gets the kick away, end over end, line drive kick, nice bounce across the 40. Saunders runs up, bobbles it, loose ball, and Panthers have it. Eastern's recovered at the 36 at Tennessee State. Saunders tried to take it on the bounce. He muffed it. It bounced around like a kind of a baseball on an AstroTurf infield, and Alex Helm, no, check that. Joe Campagna, the junior, comes up with the football for Eastern Illinois. First down, low snap, handoff Little, right side, finds a hole, has a lot of room, 30. Shepard weaving to the 35, 40, turns on the burners, 50, he may score, 40. Shepard Little, 30, at the 20, being chased, they won't catch him. 80-yard touchdown run for Shepard Little.
Wow. Well, that's the strawberry on the top of the cherry on top of the sundae there, Mike, is Little increasing his outstanding rushing numbers for this game, and it's now 50-10 in favor of the Panthers.
80-yard touchdown run for Little, his second touchdown today. And Jack, there was a point in that run where it looked like they were going to tackle him for sure, and he just kicked it into another gear and sprinted away.
He is a very talented back. There's no question about it.
Once again, Jack, broken record, just a really dominant 51-10 win today for Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, this might be, given the quality of the opponent, the best game I've had the opportunity to see the Panthers play. This was just a total all-around good performance by the Panthers.
They pick up win number 12. Eastern now 12-1 this season. They'll advance to play Towson here at O'Brien Field. It'll be a home game next weekend in the Final 8, the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs. The final score here today, Eastern Illinois 51, Tennessee State 10.
Hey, number 1, baby.
Production for Panther Sports Talk is brought to you in part by Johnson's Automotive Service is a proud supporter of Panther Sports on WEIU. Johnson's is a complete car facility for all your automotive repair and maintenance needs. Johnson's Automotive Service, keeping your life running.